ejected from the back seat through the front windshield and flew 40 feet down the road.
Thought he'd get better, he'd come home, life as we knew it would kind of go back to normal, and that wasn't the case at all.
Some of it was how fast I was going, and she's not going to make it.
I had a lot of internal bleeding going on, and I couldn't move because the dash had fallen on my legs.
And also there was an emergency room doctor coming toward the local hospital that stopped on the other side of the road and got my heart going. They didn't think I would make it to be airlifted, and they called the family in to say goodbye, but they gave me 4 or 5 pints of blood and got me stabilized enough that they could airlift me. They took my spleen out, and then they put me in ICU. I had broken facial bones, I had a crushed heel, I had a broken wrist, I had a pretty bad brain injury. At that point they didn't know it, but I had a broken neck.
He was bleeding profusely, just a gush of blood, and couldn't get it to stop, and they didn't know what was going on. The foundation of my world shook. Still does. Just thinking about it. Never thought in my wildest dreams something like that would have ever occurred, but it did. But the blood that had been given to him, and the plasma and the platelets and everything else, gave me 19 extra days with my dad. In my family, 19 extra days with my dad. My mom, 19 extra days with her husband of 43 years. You can't put a price tag on that.
I had never been scared before when I went in to have a baby. When I went in this time, I just told him, I said, something's just not right. I just don't feel right.
The doctor started in there. When he got down to that part, he realized that those blood vessels, instead of just being attached to the uterus like they're supposed to be, they were actually embedded into everything. They grew into her insides, and so he immediately stopped. He called for another surgeon, waited on him to show up, ordered up a bunch of extra blood. Of course, they had to cut through everything to get the baby out, and basically there was no way to shut the blood flow off. Everything was just a running faucet. They had about 5 or 6 different nurses standing around her holding pressure on her insides. And ended up, I think, being 56 total units of total, blood product.
After being in the hospital for a little while and learning the injuries that I had and they had told me how many, I'd had 8 or 9 units of blood put back into me. And the doctor at the time had told me, normally it'd take about 10 units to fill you completely up. And that's kind of a shock. To know through this accident I had lost almost every bit of blood in my body. If I had a chance to talk to people that had donated that blood, I mean, these people are heroes to me because they helped save my life. They went and spent, maybe an hour out of their day donating blood for whatever reason, and here they've saved me because of their just generosity. I'd love to get to meet these people. I'd love to be able to walk up and say, you're a hero to me. You saved my life.
The blood that my dad received gave us time with him we wouldn't have otherwise had. And so how do you repay that? A thank you doesn't do justice. And so we wanted to repay that by doing the blood drive and bringing people in that could donate blood, that could give someone the gift of life as well.
I had given blood. All through my school career, we had a mobile Red Cross lab that would come out to our high school, and I always gave blood, and never thought, of course, that I would be a recipient. I guess no one does. Well, the pen is a gallon pen, and I was working on my 2nd gallon when the accident happened, and no one gives with the idea someday I'm going to be in a terrible accident and I'm going to need the blood for myself. I didn't give for that reason, but you never know. You never know when you get in a car to go to the grocery store, to go to church, go to school. You never know if you're going to make it back or not, and the difference between making it back sometimes is blood. Compassion just makes you want to do what you can to help someone else, regardless of what it is. And I think that giving blood, what else can you say, would be the ultimate act of compassion, because that's where the life is.
I think compassion is something that has to be shown. We can feel for others, but unless we get off our duff and actually do something to help others, they're just words.
To also urge to people, take a little bit of your time, give blood when you can. Because like I said, you never know when it's going to be you or someone you love.
Keep up the good work, because you never know when you're going to touch somebody's life and never know that you did. I think there are people that religiously go and donate every chance they can, and I think they're some of our forgotten heroes, because they go in, they donate, they go home, they go on about their life, and 6 or 8 weeks later they go back and donate again, and they're doing it for a good cause. They know that, but I don't think they know how far they reach and the impact that the donors had on our life during the time that we really needed them. And I think they're some of the unsung heroes. I really do. Blood is life. It's something that flows through every one of us. It has no color, no creed, no religious preference. It's just the unifying force that kind of ties us all together. And so I think that it's an awesome thing.